right, take two, Dan. Here we go. I accidentally had my email open in the background, so we're going to start over. We weren't live for too long, so for the third time now, I will mention you look like a dad who just got off work. But now the joke's not
It was a
playing
good day
so
at work.
well. Yeah, okay.
No, it was a good day at work. It was a good day at work. I drive a Dodge Stratus.
Not anymore, you don't. You upgraded to the Chrysler Sebring. And then what was it?
Basically the same thing.
What was it after that?
Cadillac ATS.
There
I
you
missed
go.
that car.
There you go. Well, you went up, went back down a little bit, but I know you got your eyes on the next Cadillac. So, all right, let's run the
We'll
intro
see.
and we'll get to these fights. All right.
Okay.
All right, dude. What do we got? What are we talking about? You want to talk about last week or no?
No, but I do want to talk about the fights that got announced.
Okay, well, let's real quick just talk about one thing last week, and that last fight of Shevchenko and Grasso. Okay, I know
Definite 10-8. Definite 10-8.
I know everyone's talking about it, so I don't want to beat a dead horse here. Like, it wasn't a 10-8. Whoever won the fourth round won that fight. I would have been okay with either person winning it, just based on who won that fourth round. But the 10-8 was ridiculous. If it wasn't a 10-8, Grasso wins. So that was the big issue of the night. So I don't know. What else? Anything else to add to that?
No, not really. Honestly, like it was a good night of fights. That kind of ruined it all. Like everyone's talking about it being like no chase. Like I do think it's cool they're going to do that every year now, but like it shouldn't be in Vegas. Like
I
it
misspoke.
should
Wait,
be.
I misspoke. Shevchenko wins if that's
Yeah,
not a 10-8, but I misspoke.
but Noche should be in Mexico. Like it should be
I
every year.
feel like they probably had a plan for that and something fell through.
No,
You
I
don't
think they came up with this idea too late.
No,
That's what I think
dude,
happened.
they're thinking of these things way ahead of time.
Not true, because if you look back, there were times the press conference recently that Dana just was like, "Yeah, we should do something like that," and then all of a sudden it happened.
That's true too. That's why they need other people working for them that like us. Hire it. We're looking. We're ready.
He said yesterday they got 400 employees. They're doing just fine.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, the fights got announced. Colby versus Leon. I think that's a great fight. It's a great fight. I don't know who wins.
I'm mostly just happy that it's finally announced and we're not sitting on the sidelines with Leon. Like it's been way too long for him to fight. Like you don't become a champion like that and then he's just not fighting. It's so annoying. And frankly, it's not even that he's not fighting. It's just like no announcement. Just like we all know he's fighting Kobe, but nothing happens. So I'm just glad that's done with.
Yeah. So at least it's happening. We know. So all good. All right. So first fight of the night, we've got Vidal versus Rendon. We've got a 5-0. Rendon hasn't fought in the UFC yet. Versus Vidal, who's looked okay. Girls fight, I'm taking Vidal. I don't know too much about Rendon, except that she goes to decision a lot of split decisions. And I'll take
going with Vidal.
Yeah, I'll take the UFC tested fighter. Moving up the card, we have another girls fight. So you can tune in late to this one. Although I do think Mizuki wins this one, the Japanese fighter. I don't think Hannah Goldie should be in the UFC personally. She's has some pretty bad performances. I think she's 1-3 in the UFC. Can't do that in women's MMA. You can't be 1-3 and expect to stick around very long. So
no, I agree.
Mizuki, she's a big favorite. She probably, I think she might finish. I like her to finish, but
that's interesting. She's minus 310, but 89% of the money is on her.
Yeah, I think it's not even a question. So we're gonna try something new here. We're going a little faster up the prelims, and then we're going to talk more about the main card just to shorten the video up a little bit. Next up, we've got Jake Collier versus Muhammad Usman.
Everything in my being says that Collier has no chance, but Usman looks so terrible last fight that I'm like, does he? It's like he just looks so out of shape, and but you would think he's worked on that sense. In some ways,
yeah,
I think he wins this fight big. I take Usman.
I think Usman finishes
just because you can't trust Collier.
Okay, Collier is coming off of 3 losses in a row, and I thought he looked real good against Andrei Arlovski. I thought he won that fight for sure. But anyways, he gets the loss, loses to Chris Barnett by KO. That's when I had a turning point of like, okay, maybe this guy isn't what I thought he was. Then he loses to Martin Boudet, Boudet's okay, but just another loss. I think this is another fight to catapult Usman. They want the name. They want him to move up. It doesn't make sense that you have Usman coming off 2 wins. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, 2 wins. Fighting a fighter that's coming off 3 losses. They're trying to catapult him.
Yep.
Jake Collier is on his way out if he doesn't win. Moving up,
I mean,
we've got Jacob Malkoun versus Cody Brundage. I actually like this fight.
this fight is weird if you like it because I think Malkoun dominates this fight. He's minus 535.
Yeah, this is why I like it. Cody Brundage early. Always has a chance early. Okay, after that, it's all Malkoun. If it goes past the first round, it's Malkoun all day. But Cody's always live for something crazy.
Then you should take Brundage by KO because he's plus 900.
Well, yeah, but he jumps guillotine sometimes and does some stuff too. I think Malkoun wins this. I think it's a decision, or he could possibly finish him because Brundage gasses a little bit. But I'm going Malkoun here. That's the pick. Moving up, Tim Means versus Andre Fiallo.
Hey, is Tim Means the guy that got in all the problems with his wife?
I want to say yes, but I feel like that guy won, so no. That's Tim Elliott.
No. Well, I'm glad we figured that out because I was going all in on Means. Okay, just because of that. I mean, it's something to think about. Didn't last fight Fialho look pretty bad?
Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, we've got 2 fighters coming off 3 losses each. Filio's been knocked out. Both have been 3 losses in a row. Filio has 3 KOs in a row loss, and then you've got Tim Means submission loss, decision loss, and submission loss.
I mean, you got to say though, if you had to look at yourself and go, "Who am I taking? A guy named Tim Means or Andre Fialho?" I mean, there's just no question here, right? It's minus 175 for Fialho. I was looking at the money, and this is a little closer. It's 63% to 37. But then I also looked through to see that Means plus 500 to KO, Fialho is plus 100 to KO. To me, you got to go with Fialho.
I'm going Fialho based on just the age. You got a 39-year-old Tim Means versus a 29-year-old Fialho. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 39, so thank you. But keep going.
Well, you're not also in the ring fighting, or the octagon.
That's true.
It's Fialho here. I think this is a scary fight, though. This is something in my gut that just tells me maybe stay away from it a little bit. But I think Fialho wins and probably finishes him just because I don't like the 39 years old. That's all. Moving up, we've got Miles Johns versus Dan Argueta. This is one I don't know much about. I tried watching a Miles Johns fight, and I turned it off. It was so boring. I was trying to do research for this show, and I couldn't even watch it.
Well, that's why I'm doing Argueta. I think Argueta wins this fight pretty handily.
I don't know too much about Argueta. My only thing about what's his name?
Once
Miles
again,
Johns.
you're going to take Miles Johns?
Well, the only thing I like about him is he has a win over Adrian Yanez. I didn't watch the fight, but he has a win over him. So, losses to Mario
it's the same Adrian Yanez?
I looked at the picture just to confirm. I'm taking Dan Argueta just because when Miles Johns, when I watched him fight, looked no urgency. A slow, boring fight, and I just can't take a fighter that fights like that. So, I'm pretty sure we've gone all favorites so far, and I'm gonna continue with that until a little later. But moving up, we are now on the main card, Dan, so we can afford to talk about these fights for a little while. And
let me tell you something right now.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Not long on this one. I am a Charles Jourdain fan. And I am all in on a win here, and I'm all in on a knockout.
Wow.
He's got 72% of the money. Okay. But I looked through, he's plus 250 for knockout. He's plus 215 for decision. So they kind of feel a little bit like I do. Right. And I just super impressed the last couple of times I've seen him fight.
Well, I think you've got something to that because Ramos has been finished twice.
He's a winner.
He's been finished twice, both by knockout. So, there is a play there. He's also been submitted once. I don't see a submission here. So Jourdain by KO makes sense. It's realistically, it's going to be decision though, I think. And I am also taking
No, I disagree. You're thinking that because this is what I was thinking. This is why I was so impressed with him last time. He had to fight that ridiculous fight with Gracie.
Mm-hmm.
where he just like sat and tried to pretend like it was 1997. Like, but he was so tactful in how he approached it. I like this guy, and I think this guy is going to be so hungry for a finish that he's going after it.
Well, this will definitely be a dynamic striking fight, and I'm saying this will probably be fight of the night. I like this to be fight of the night. But
Well, it's going to have.
I was just
Hey, if it's
looking at
fight of the night, it's got to be a KO then.
not necessarily. I've seen bangers in there where nobody gets finished. It goes to decision. Like you telling me Michael Chandler, Justin Gaethje isn't fight of the night? Do you remember that fight?
That wasn't a finish. I thought. I
No,
was thinking
man,
of it.
they just beat the crap out of you. Well, I mean, every Michael Chandler fight seems to go that way, but
Yeah, it's mostly him almost dying.
I'm gonna sneeze.
That's not good for the show.
It's
not good for the show.
It's good for views. It shows I'm not a robot. Okay.
Hey, I'm a Brian Battle guy. Can we just do that?
I agree. I'm also going Brian Battle. I like that he's back down to 170. He was fighting at 185 on the Ultimate Fighter. I like him. He looked really good against Gabe Green, like better than I thought he would.
That was in North Carolina, wasn't it?
Let's see.
Yeah, it was. It was that North Carolina card.
Well, it's interesting if that's the case because he's actually from North Carolina.
Yeah, it was because he didn't make weight, right?
Yeah, he missed weight.
He missed weight, but he knocked him out cold, and he was not the favorite in that fight.
I don't care. Can I just tell you that? I don't care. Your performance means nothing to me if you don't make weight.
What do you mean? Why? He was off by like a pound.
He was off by 2 pounds. I don't care. You have to be a professional, show up and make weight. And I understand you have bad pay.
Okay, yeah,
Listen, you have bad cuts, things happen. Okay, but he also had a 2-pound advantage on the man. Like you need to make.
He didn't have a 2-pound advantage. That's all bull. It's bull. They're all overweight.
Yeah,
dude.
but once on fight night, but they're cutting to get down in the first place, and one guy did it and one guy didn't. You're telling me that's not an advantage? Anyways,
I'm also still gonna win this.
Yes, I'm also taking Brian Battle. I think AJ Fletcher has massively let me down. I watched him on Dana White's. I thought this guy was going to be good. He comes in, has a tough fight against Semmelsberger that he loses. Then he comes in and loses to Ange Lusa, and I'm like, okay, I'm done with this guy. Of course, I bet against him the next time out, and he beats Gorimbo. So I don't know what to expect with AJ Fletcher. I'm taking Brian Battle. Most of Tapology's got him at 92% for Brian Battle, so I think we're pretty safe in both saying we're taking Battle. So, all right, so the last 3 fights are actually pretty decent here. This card's not too bad. It's okay. We got Marino Rodriguez versus Michelle Waterson-Gomez. What's your take?
Rodriguez.
Losing
my voice.
The last time they fought, I had Waterson-Gomez because I just liked she was a dog, and I thought it was gonna be a close fight. I think it's gonna be.
Nobody thinks that's happening.
Nobody thinks that's happening. No,
91% of the money. 91% of the money.
92% of Tapology. 92% of Tapology has Rodriguez too. She looked better. I even tried watching it with a bias, and I couldn't do it. Like it was clear to me Rodriguez won. Waterson-Gomez coming off 3 losses in a row. That's tough. But then you got Marina Rodriguez coming off 2 losses. Losses to Jana Roba and Amanda Lemos. So, not that bad. But Waterson-Gomez's losses are to Amanda Lemos and Marina Rodriguez and Pinheiro. So, I don't know, man. I'm taking Marina Rodriguez. I think it's going to be a stand-up striking fight. And that'll get into our bets a little later of what I'm doing with this. So far, we're all the way up the card to the co-main event. We have taken every favorite on the card.
Not today. Not on this one.
So we move up to Bryce Mitchell versus Dan Ige. Dan, what do you got?
I'm going Dan Ige. Okay. I think Bryce Mitchell is washed from his last fight. You sold him like he was the best, unbelievable, and he got crushed by Topuria. I think he's a talker. I think he's going to get beat up. And I think Dan Ige's got something to prove, and we're going to see it. And so I'm taking him.
So I was fooled a little bit with Bryce Mitchell. I thought he would show up better against Topuria. I watched Topuria get knocked down by Jai Herbert, and I was basing everything off of that. I said, if Jai Herbert can knock him down, then Bryce Mitchell's going to beat him. Bryce Mitchell claims he had the flu or something during that fight, okay? So I'm taking that
The
into
flu
account.
doesn't make you get knocked out.
Bro, the flu makes it tough to get out there. I don't know how truthful he's being, but that's what he said, right? And I look at Dan Ige. Man, I've gone back and forth on this fight. Dan Ige's wins against Nate the Train and Damon Jackson, okay? I'm like, man, those are like good guys, not great guys. Then I look at who he loses to, like Evolov, Emmett, and Zombie, okay? Well, Evolov and Emmett are wrestlers. Bryce Mitchell's a wrestler. It makes sense that Bryce Mitchell's going to take him down and beat him. Dan Ige seems to lose every time there's a step up in competition, right? But I'm looking at Bryce Mitchell, and I'm not so sure he's a step up in competition. I was so big on him after that Barboza win. That's why I took him over Topuria. But then I started looking at who he's beaten before that. Andre Fili, average fighter. Charles Rosa, okay. Matt Sales, okay. Like, he hasn't beaten these big names other than this Barboza win. And Barboza's has been looking okay, I want to say. Yeah, win over Billy Q after he came back. That was a good win for him. I feel like we're going to see a new Dan Ige. I feel like we're going to see a hungry Dan Ige, and I think Dan Ige is going to win this fight. He's my first dog pick of the night, and I've got him on my DraftKings team, and we'll show that a little later. But are we both going Dan Ige?
Yeah, we've literally picked all the same people.
Well, since I heard you talking earlier, I know we're not the same on this one. And this is one that I was strongly going for Fiziev, and then I just completely changed my mind during the week. So, Rafael Fiziev and Gamrot.
Yeah, so you're being stupid on this. You're being fooled. And here's why you're being fooled. The only reason this is even close, like Fiziev right now is minus 155 to plus 130. The only reason is because people are souring on him because he was built up so heavy. And when he lost to Gaethje, it all went to hell. And that's what's happening right now. You're getting sold a bill of goods on that. Gamrot is not on the same level as Fiziev. Fiziev had one bad fight. He is going to need to prove himself to get himself. They had him on a rocket ship, and then he just got stopped.
I mean,
that goes away on Saturday.
Fiziev has like good wins. This is why I was originally thinking Fiziev. A win over Rafael Dos Anjos, right? A win over Brad Riddell. A win over Bobby Green. Renato Maciano, I can't say his name. Those are good wins. Those are really good wins, right? Against like established people in the division, okay?
Yep.
But then I take a look at Gamrot, and he has wins over Jalen Turner, Armin Sarukian, Diego Fierro, who's a little older, and Jeremy Stevens, okay. But I look at this, he's beaten the up-and-comers, the guys that they think are going to be future stars, and Jalen Turner and Armin Sarukian, okay?
Right.
But I know that he beats Jalen Turner by taking him down. Can he take down Fiziev? I know he can't strike with him. Rafael Dos Anjos couldn't beat him. I'm just saying, I think
Gamrot's getting knocked out.
I disagree. What is crazier, too, is Gamrot's 2 inches taller with a 1-inch reach disadvantage. Do you
realize the number one thing on DraftKings to bet in terms of like the what they think is going to happen?
Yeah.
Is Fiziev to win by TKO.
I see that on Tapology, too. 59 of the 68% think or 59% of the 68% here think
this
it'll
is
be
plus 175 to KO, and it's plus 250 for a decision.
I mean, if you're going decision, I'm going Gamrot decision. If it goes 5 rounds,
that is also how it works. Plus 240.
Yeah. That would be my bet. Gamrot by decision. I think he does get him to the ground, and I think he's fixed his cardio issues that he had in his fight against.
Well, you cannot be more
buddy. Who was
I would like this to be. Would like this to be replayed over and over and over because you are so wrong.
I mean, we're off on one pick this week. It's
no, but on this one, I'm saying like I am all in on Fiziev. I think this man is coming for his title back, his shot at a title. That's what he wants.
This is the first step. I think you see winner of this fight. Ugh, it's tough because he's coming off a loss to Gaethje. I think if Gamrot wins this fight, he's maybe
Gaethje again?
No, I'd put him. Well, he probably won't be ready by October. I'd say
He could
he's
maybe fight Michael Chandler
yeah. If the
because McGregor's not fighting
no,
clearly.
but we got to see how he's looking, and it's going to be 3 months out, and then I think maybe I would put him up against someone in a title contention, and then I would have the winner of that fight next after Islam.
Whatever you
So
got to do.
yeah, but okay, that's the one we're different on. Going into our bets, let's take a quick second for Mike to announce his parlay.
Get ready, it's Mike's Parlay of the Week.
All right. Pretty sure that was Mike. I'm not sure. It's a little cut off here. Let's see if I can drag that down. There we go. So I had to split this into two screens. Mike's pick is Andre Fialho, minus 175. He took AJ Fletcher at plus 145. Charles Jourdain to win by decision at plus 215. Bryce Mitchell, Dan Ige to end in decision at minus 200. And he took Fiziev Gamrot just to win by either KO or submission. No clear winner, just either way. This ends up being, I don't have it on here, but it ends up being 33-1. And it's not that crazy.
That's actually not that crazy of odds when you consider how Mikey usually bets.
Yeah, I mean 33-1's pretty good. But I like the last two fights being how close I think they are. He's just put like a method of victory instead of picking the winner. And I do think this one goes to decision. I think also the last one will go to decision too, but he's got it being a finish either way. I think when you have two high-level guys, they find a way to survive. So
yeah,
that's all I got with that. Going into our DraftKings picks this week, you've sent over a team of Argueta, Battle, Fiziev, Ige, Jourdain, and Usman.
That's a winner, bro.
I do like it. Looking at our teams, we both have Usman, we both have Jourdain, we both have Ige.
I'll tell you something. I will absolutely have a team that has Collier too.
Yeah, man, I keep fading Usman. I think I'm done doing it. I'm not doing it in this moment. I think Collier has some decent stand up, but he's not fit, man. I know he used to fight at like 185 or whatever, and he's just not fit. But he has good stand up. I just think the power is going to be too different.
Sure.
So my team's looking like Gamrot, Ige, Filio, Jourdain, Usman, and Mizuki at 9,200. I think she gets a finish on Goldie. Thoughts?
Sounds like a good team to me.
No.
I mean, it's not that dissimilar.
No, I think we got maybe two fighters different, four of the same, so pretty good. Over to our prize picks. I just had you send me one over real quick. You've taken Usman less on fantasy score.
Yeah. So actually, let me break that down. I got to bring that up here on my screen. So it's not that because I picked Usman to win, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my concern with all of it, did I email that to you or did I send it? I don't even have it.
You sent it over to me. I got it. I'll just tell you. It was you have Muhammad Usman under on fantasy at 75.5.
Because I think he wins, but I don't think he covers. Keep going.
Okay, then we got Brian Battle. You took over at 89.5.
I thought 89.5 for him because he's a KO guy. That did not shock me. I'm like, that's a good number. I will tell you this. If you're doing fantasy is just the most excruciating thing to bet.
For sure.
It's just unbelievable. But whenever I'm like below 92, I feel real good about picking it if it's somebody who has power.
Okay.
Because then you have especially if they're gonna have a lot of sig strikes or takedowns, because you get that feeling after if they go to the second round, you're like, well, do I still have a shot? So you quickly do the math and you're like, oh, if they KO, it's 75 points on prize picks.
Mm-hmm.
I got a shot. So anyone in that 92 range, I feel good about. So we'll go over with him.
All right, then this is a little surprising. You went Fiziev over 105.5.
Because I think he's going to KO. And I think it's going to be earlier than you think.
Wow. Okay.
And if he doesn't KO, he's going to have a lot of strikes.
That's true. I think if this fight goes the way you think it will and it stays standing, he covers. I think if it goes away, I think it's going to go and he can take him down. I think he's not going to come anywhere close. Then you have Andre Filio over 90.5.
Again, under 92, I'm okay with it.
Okay. I see that. I think he's definitely live for a finish there against a 40-year-old Tim Means. Or almost 40, I'm sorry. My picks this week were Marina Rodriguez and Charles Jourdain, both over on strikes. And I mentioned in the video yesterday that I think both of these fights go to decision. I think both of them stay standing, and I think both of them can cover these strikes. Although I'm always nervous with 6 strikes because they update it later, and it's always scary because you never know if they're going to lower it or make it a little bigger there.
It's true. I just had a big moment there. I need you to understand that. I forgot that Brandon Ayuk's out tonight in the San Francisco game. Had him in my fantasy lineup. It's a big problem.
Did you get him out?
What?
Did you get him out in time?
Yeah, I just got him out. Like it literally
Wow. Wow.
It was a big problem. He was on all my teams. I really thought for sure he'd play.
That's crazy, man. Well, you lucked out there. Hopefully some other people didn't get him out in time, and you can maybe get ahead of a few people there. All right, so decent card. Few good fights on here. We'll see what happens. Last week I did
By the way,
win.
you missed the fight.
Which fight?
You missed one of the new fights.
Which one?
Pereira.
Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about the new fight. Yeah, Alex Pereira. Everybody knew that fight was coming.
I know, but I'm jacked for that one. I am jacked. I went back and I watched Glover fight.
Yeah.
I'm losing my book. And I was like, that got me super excited because this is going to be a striking fight.
Absolutely not. It should be a striking fight, but he's so easy to take down, and Yuri's smart, and Yuri's going to take his butt down, and I think he's going to play with him. Yuri's a different level of crazy, man. Yuri's winning that fight. I have no doubt in my mind. If that's anywhere close on DraftKings, every one of my teams is taking Yuri.
You're wrong.
The other one was Pantoja and Brandon Royval.
Okay, can I tell you that annoyed me? Like I knew it was going to be Royval, but when I saw it, it said Brandon. I was like, oh, we're having a rematch, Moreno. Why is Moreno not getting a rematch?
Why? Because they can't keep doing this, man. It's rematch. We need.
I understand, but Moreno had a broken hand, and he still almost beat him.
Dude, I do
that
not. I do not want to watch. He doesn't. Okay, he's lost.
No. Why would Dana say that so quickly? And yet this one, it's like no one's even talking about the possibility. Brandon Moreno is one of the funnest fighters to watch. I love that guy.
Okay, man, but you can't just keep letting a guy fight for the title and lose it and get it back and fight for it and lose it and then get it back. And
I think he deserved it.
It's not.
He should have
dude.
He should have run it back right then.
We want new fights. That's why I don't want Adesanya fighting Strickland. Give me Strickland and DDP. Okay. Also, we got Colby Covington announced fighting Leon Edwards. Did we talk about that? Yes,
yeah,
we did.
You did.
We opened with that. Hey, man, I'm just really excited for that fight.
Okay.
So, all right, that's all we got. We'll be back maybe with like a teaser video in the middle of the week with another bet or two. Other than that, we'll be back Wednesday or Thursday with a betting show. Anything to say, Dan?
All I got to say is it's time for some football.
All right, good luck tonight.
Bye.